Greetings! Welcome to this guide on Tier 6 Blessings in RuneScape 3 Leagues 2 Equilibrium. Blessings are power-ups for combat, similar to combat masteries and demonic packs in old school RuneScape. Blessings are unlocked by completing blessing tasks, with Tier 6 unlocked a total of 20 blessing tasks. God tier relics are more powerful versions of blessings. Each blessing and God tier relic is aligned to one of three gods, Zamorak, Guthix, or Saradomin. The alignment of chosen blessings influences the alignment of God tier relics. For example, Guthix plus Guthix plus Guthix equals Guthix. Guthix plus Saradomin plus Zamorak equals Guthix, but Zamorak plus Guthix equals Zamorak. You can determine this by assigning a value of 1 to Saradomin, 0 to Guthix, and -1 to Zamorak. If the total is positive, then the God tier relic's alignment is Saradomin. If the total is 0, then the alignment is Guthix. If the total is negative, then the alignment is Zamorak. Unlike areas and relics, blessing picks can be reset, like respecking in old school RuneScape. You get 3 resets, one at standard tier 1, one at God tier 1, and one at God tier 2. This encourages you to experiment with different blessing builds. Before we get into the blessings, let's talk about the passive effects at tier 6. There's a 95% chance to not consume runes, similar to the Staff of Light, and ranged ammo, similar to Ava's devices, in combat, and ectoplasm and runes when performing abilities, presumably for necromancy, and incantations. Non-combat spells may consume runes as usual. You choose one out of the following 3 blessings: Perfidious, Envenomed, or Tempered Heart. Perfidious buffs each god effect: Inferno of Zamorak, Grasp of Guthix, and Light of Saradomin. Inferno of Zamorak is 5 times as likely to activate. Grasp of Guthix requires only 2 occurrences of triggering events, such as damage reduction, instead of 5. For striking light at tier 2, Perfidious makes Light of Saradomin's cooldown 4.8 seconds instead of 9. According to the RuneScape Wiki, Perfidious doesn't affect Unholy Ritual or Lord of Light. Envenomed makes items that deal poison damage, such as Cinderbane gloves, more effective. Poison damage is increased by 50% plus 2% for each Herblore level you have. At level 120 Herblore, that's a 290% damage boost. On top of that, non-poison damage dealt to an opponent disables any poison immunity of theirs for 30 seconds. According to the RuneScape Wiki, the following bosses are basically immune to poison in the main game: Amaskut, Araxor and Araxi, Barrow's Rise of the 6 bosses, Raids bosses, Fletch Hatcher, God Wars dungeon bosses, Legions, Osseous, QBD, Raksha, Raziel, Sanctum of Rebirth bosses, Seryu, Silverquill, Twin Furies, Zuck, Vindicta and Gorvik, Virago, Zamorak, and finally, Zemorigal and Vorkath. Tempered Heart makes adrenaline last longer. You generate 6% adrenaline every 1.2 seconds. Out of combat, you lose 5% adrenaline every 1.2 seconds, ordinarily. So assuming that the effect works outside of combat, adrenaline wouldn't fully deplete naturally. Let's compare the blessings. Perfidious' purpose is to buff god effects associated with previous blessings: Inferno of Zamorak, Grasp of Guthix, and Light of Saradomin. It boosts DPS by increasing the chance of Inferno of Zamorak proccing, lowering the requirement to activate Grasp of Guthix, and shortening the cooldown on Light of Saradomin, making all 3 of the powerful god effects more frequent. To get the maximum effect of Perfidious, the optimum strategy is to pick either Abyssal Cinders or Striking Light at tier 2, and Tearing Thorns at tier 5. As Perfidious doesn't affect Unholy Ritual's Inferno of Zamorak, or Lord of Light's Light of Saradomin at tier 5, one of these god effects needs to come from a tier 2 blessing instead. Tearing Thorns' alignment with Guthix would ensure that Perfidious benefits 2 god effects, which is the maximum number that it can. Envenomed's purpose is to make items that deal poison damage more effective. It boosts DPS by boosting poison damage and temporarily enabling you to deal poison damage to monsters that are usually immune to poison. The optimum strategy is to maximize accuracy because Envenomed requires hitting for at least 1 non-poison damage to bypass immunity. Every 30 seconds at a boss that's usually immune to poison, deal standard damage to bypass immunity, and then deal poison damage to envenom the boss, then continue the fight as normal. Tempered Heart's purpose is to make adrenaline last longer. It boosts DPS by generating adrenaline faster than it naturally depletes, enabling you to use abilities more often. Before fighting a boss, the optimum strategy is to wait for the adrenaline bar to fill to the maximum. As soon as that happens, start the fight and unload powerful abilities, such as ultimates and certain special attacks, back to back. This can let you skip restoring adrenaline at War's Retreat. In conclusion, which blessing you choose depends on personal preference. Factors to consider are your playstyle, any synergy with areas and standard relics, and any preference for particular god tier relics. There is no one right choice. PVMers building around Grasp of Guthix and either Inferno of Zamorak or Light of Saradomin, god effects, may prefer Perfidious because it makes 2 out of the 3 god effects more frequent. PVMers building around poison damage at usually poison immune bosses, and skillers may prefer Envenomed because it makes poison damage more effective, particularly at these bosses. Skillers can use the tactic of whittling down a monster's life points with poison damage while safe spotting to defeat them at a low combat level, more comfortably than usual, albeit slower. PVMers building around ultimates and specs and PvPers may prefer Tempered Heart because it makes adrenaline last longer, enabling them to use these abilities more often. For other players, I would rank the blessings in order from most versatile to least versatile, with Tempered Heart first, working with a wide variety of abilities, Envenomed second, working with specifically poison damage, and Perfidious third, working with more niche god effects. If you're interested in more content like this, then be sure to let me know by subscribing, leaving a comment about what you like and most look forward to, or liking and sharing the video. Hitting the bell icon on the subscribe button helps you to stay up to date with my latest content. I welcome any feedback about how I could improve my content. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.